everybody, it's Kenny K here again, and I'm bringing you a slasher horror movie. I think it's more of a horror movie called Humongous from 1982. Now, it's the movie. I mean, it gets a 4.9 on an IMDb. That's not a good sign. And it does get a 4 from me. So the thing is, they had a lot of potential with this movie, but they fucked it up. They fucked it up. They fucked it up. So it begins with in this vacation house where you have Donna, the group slut, and you've got Nick, the who think Nick's the guy who thinks he's the hunk and he should get Donna, but Donna doesn't want anything to do with him. So she basically, you know, sideways his ass, and he can't handle that. And at some point, he takes a fucking loaded gun and it's aiming it at his brother. He has a brother named Eric and a sister named Carla. And he's aiming at his brother, who's basically cleaning everything up after him, after Nick, and saying, "We have to clean all this shit up because, you know," and then he says, "It can be," and he's aiming the gun towards Eric. "It can be done with a click of a button," and then pulling the trigger almost, seeing it naked, then BAM, just shooting over his head. And he said, "Are you fucking crazy? Give me that gun, you fucking crazy." I mean, he says, "I didn't mean that. I just wanted to scare you. That was just a prank. It was just a prank. A sick prank." I mean, this guy is just completely out of control. He's he's the one who has to prove himself and shit like that. He doesn't want to take orders. Eric is the older brother, and Carla is the sister, but she's the good, loving sister, with the glasses and things like that, and she's old and wholesome. But then you have Donna, who at some point puts on this tape recorder and starts to dance sexy. I mean, if you can call that sexy, like, and then jiggling her butt, and then Nick just takes the tape recorder out of there, yanks it out of there, and throws it in the sea. And she's like, "Okay, okay." And she goes sit down with, sorry, it's a little bit dark here, and with Sandy. They're talking about one wanted to be a model, and Sandy is a model, and she's the girlfriend of Eric, and blah 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 talk. At some point in the night, there's all mist over the water, and then they see somebody in the distance putting on a flare. A guy who wrecked his boat on the reefs, and he's asking to get on board. Apparently he broke his leg. Now he's saying, thank you, you have to put off your engines, just stay put because it's a dangerous place here. You have to really maneuver yourself through the dangerous reefs. So they put the boat, they throw anchor out, or they just keep the boat just bobbling down on the waves right there. And he tells a story about, what this island, there's an island right over there. It's called Dog Island. and you can hear the dogs, ooh, like going like this. And he says there's somebody living there. There's this big old mansion on the top of the mountain of the island. You can't see it here now with the trees, and it's dark, too dark. And the owner, she goes once or twice to the nearest island where he's from, which is a small town beach community, and there she gets her supplies for half a year or a year, and then she goes back. She doesn't say anything, just to nobody. That's what I forgot at the beginning of this movie. She is at this mansion, and there's this in the 1960s. There's this party, and she gets raped by one of these party members. It's like somebody she knew, but she doesn't want anything to do with anymore, and maybe he broke her heart because he betrayed her. Then the dogs just jump over the fence, these German shepherds, and they start to just rip him to shreds, really ripping him to shreds. His throat's open, his arms are shredded, and she delivers the final blows by taking a stone and hitting him twice in his head. So, and that's, let's say, how she got pregnant. And from that moment on, the island went to shit. So eventually Nick, being an asshole, he says, I'm gonna get out of here. I don't want to hear those dogs all night long. And he says, Eric's like, don't do that, you piece of shit. You. And then the other guy, what's his name? Bert, he says, no, you can't do that. And he takes the gun, which he used on Eric in the beginning. He aims you. Don't get any closer, my friend, or I'll shoot or blow your fucking ass off. And he says he's starting to put on the engines, and then he gets in a fight and tussle with Eric, and their boat is going like this, and they know, okay, Eric, Bert says, put yourself, okay, everybody, brace yourself, and boom, of course, the boat against an underwater reef. They have to evacuate. What happens is the boat totally explodes, and whose fault is that? Fucking Nick. Now this Nick guy, it's an asshole from the beginning. First he wants to have, there's almost this rapey vibe between him and Donna in the beginning. Secondly, you have the idea he wants to kill his brother. And third, what he does with the boat, he's just being an asshole, a pig. He's just endangering the lives of everybody on that boat. Then on the island, he's going to look for, because apparently there's a house in there. He's going to look for it, and he's going to look for some matches and the food and this and this and that. Apparently when he goes looking for food, he gets attacked by what he thinks is dogs. And then eventually he goes to a boathouse. He sees the boats that the missus of the island used, but they're all wrecked. They can't use them anymore. And then something comes through the roof, and you see some humongous figure, and he kills him. you don't see anything what happens with him, but it's fade to black kill. Okay. At this point, I think uh, Eric, Kayla, and Sandy, they go out, and Bert and Donna stays with Bert. Madonna, Bert at some point gets his leg is broken. It gets cold. What does Donna do? She just rips off her shirt, her tits hanging out. She's hanging her tits over the guy. The guy, of course, taking her with the hips, thinking I'm gonna fuck her. You know what? I'm cold, so let's just fuck. Yeah. Then, oh, I'm cold. Oh, I'm cold. Oh, don't stop because I'm getting colder. Ah, yes, yes. I mean, that's such a stupid scene. Eventually, the humongous person that killed Nick takes Donna. He smashes her against the rocks, instant dead. Then breaks guys the bird guy with the bird guy, the bird guy, the bird, yeah, the bird, and everybody talk about the bird. So I got extracted. He kills Bert, Doom, breaking his neck. Sorry, as the reason why I'm doing these stupid things are the movie is really bad. As he goes after the rest. He takes Donna body to they find the rest finds the big mansion, and they also find the missus of the mansion, who apparently came to town. She now is dead, but apparently dead for at least a few years, because she's nothing more than a shriveled old pile of bones sitting in her chair. And eventually they try to find matchsticks and things to, because what I on the other side I don't understand why they stayed there. They do have a phone, but it doesn't work. Okay, but they can make a fire because it's the highest point of the island. But they hear something in the basement. Now, what I gather is that the creature, the humanoid, can't go up in the basement. So what do these idiots do? They go to the basement. They see Nick and Donna's bodies hanging on hooks. For some reason, Bert isn't hanging there. And I don't understand why they just. Yeah. And then Kayla just runs the fuck away. She bolts, leaves her brother behind. Sandy is following Kayla to wait, and Nick is like towards Eric. Eric's like towards Nick's body. He's like grieving Nick for being an asshole, for being an idiot, for being an asshole. And then you've got and then of course the humanoid knows they've been in the basement. They're running away, and they're making so much noise instead of staying in the upper level, because apparently there's a diary that the mom said that he never he didn't. There was a diary Sandy found that apparently said because when they come back to camp, they find Bert's dead body in the water. Okay, so Kayla is completely messed up, and Sandy and Eric are basically the only sane people on the island. And but they didn't find any dogs. That's the thing. They found the dogs in the pens, but they were completely ripped to shreds and eaten to the bone. So the the the, the, the noises they hear is from the humanoid. He's this 7-8 foot tall guy. We don't know how he looks, and so that's gonna be after this review. So they they found a diary, and which says that the Ido or something, they call it the humanoid Ido, can't come on the upper floors where the mansion. Basically he has to stay in the basement, and instead of you know taking advantage of that and just taking, because it's ice cold, it's clearly cold, they don't have food. They did have food in the mansion. Just make a fire or do something, get let the I don't know, maybe that would be a good idea. Okay, you had the humanoid right under you, but at this point the humanoid is just attacking you from left to right, and he's trying to attack you. They go to the house. At some point they go back to the house, and then the humanoid has enough. They attack him because at some point Eric is hitting the humanoid with this wooden 2x4 thing with a hook on, and he thinks he killed him. Then of course the humanoid takes him, and there's this scene where he then apparently breaks him, and you see his hand going like this and blood gushing out of his mouth. But the problem in this movie is, and that's what I'm gonna talk about. The problem in this movie is, one, you never see the humanoid. You never get a clear shot of it. Even when the humanoid is put in a boathouse that Sandy sets on fire, and you should see the humanoid because there's light. Finally, there's light because the director, for some reason, used extreme low lighting. It's like he used the lighting of the surroundings, and that's it. Nobody could see what's happening. Even the kills, you couldn't see what's happening. It's so there are probably a few gory kills in there, but you couldn't see them. There are probably a few cool scenes of the humanoid itself, but you can't see them. You can't just see this shadowy figure with hair like this, and long hair that goes like everywhere, and you don't see it. You don't see. Then even with the at some point the boathouse, she's in the boathouse. She puts him on fire. You still don't see it because before she goes in the boathouse, Kayla comes. Hey, I was looking for you guys. Kayla is grabbed by the humanoid, and her head is pressed like a melon, and you do see some blood, but then you see him taking her in the dark and then swinging her away. But like I said, it's such a disappointing movie. The light just destroyed this movie. That there's no light, because they're a movie with so much potential, with the mansion on this island where they heard dogs, but the dogs are all dead. So something or somebody was making those dog sounds, and that looked so cool. and I think the humongoid, the mongoloid kid of the missus of the house, she, I mean, that would be looking, I mean, that we could take a clear look at it. It would be so cool. His lair a little bit lit with the bodies. He's basically taking all the bodies to the basement, and he gets to eat them. And no, it just because with the journal reading, everybody who enters the island are basically are intruders, and intruders have to be attacked with severe punishment, and that's cool because it's the humanoid's job to do that, and it's there's there was a sense of atmosphere in this movie when they are going through the bushes, towards the mansion, and in the mansion itself, it's creepy enough, it's atmospheric enough, but they just destroy it with the darkness. You can't see jack shit, and even when they put the boathouse on fire where the humanoid is, you don't see jack shit. You see him, then you see him jump out of it. You see him standing in front of the fire. You should see him, right? No, it's like he's like doing this with his hair, so you can't see him. You don't see him. You never see him. And at some point, Sandy, who's being the only survivor at this point left, she falls down, takes this sign and penetrates him, and you see him being penetrated. It's like, oh, still don't see his shit. No, still don't see shit, and he falls down. Don't see shit. You don't see shit. You see then you see some of his burned face, but that's the problem, because I wanted to see the humanoid, how it looked like without the burned face. So, first of all, negatives: the darkness, the fact that they didn't use natural lighting. They only used natural lighting. They didn't use lighting, so it's always dark. A few characters are really bad acting, but also really bad in decision making. Like Nick just goes on his own. He almost blows his brains out in the cabin. Then he almost fucks a girl when she doesn't want to, and then he takes control of the wheel, where everybody is saying we have to stay put because there's a dangerous reef underneath the boat, and no, and then he goes on himself on his merry way on Dog Island, to find something to build a fire and some provisions, and he gets killed for it. And I hope he gets killed for it. I hoped he got killed in a cool way, because he's an asshole. But then Donna, she can't act when she's trying to hold Bert, and he's shivering because he has a broken leg. He may have a little bit fever. She thinks, okay, body warmth will help him. She just snaps all of her. So she brought these berries, put them here in her cleavage, and then she's giving the things to hit the berries to him, and then she says, "Oh, I hope you don't mind. Oh, you're cold. I hope you don't mind berry flavor." she puts her tits come out, berry stains all over and on his body, and the guy's like, ah. it's, it's so stupid, so stupid. And then they, of course, get killed immediately. Uh, no, this movie isn't good. This movie is a slasher movie. Um, I wouldn't recommend it. It's getting a 4. I wouldn't even consider it giving a 3.5. It's not that good. It's no, no. There are good moments in the mansion, creepy moments, some creepy atmosphere, but that's it. That's it. So there you go, humongous. Subscribe and see you next time. Bye bye.